Hello everyone, and last night I finally got to see Kubo and the Two Strings. I have been already wanting to see this movie. I've heard raving reviews from all the critics, all the ads I've seen are saying it's a new modern masterpiece. It's so well done, best anime movie of the year, all that type of stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, although I wasn't going in like really excited, I was like at least optimistic. I'm like, alright, let's see it. I wasn't, because this is the same studio. I just forgot the name of it. They also did Coraline, which I really liked a lot. They also did The Box Trolls, which I thought was alright. And they also did, what the hell was it called? Paranorman, which I thought was good but a bit forgettable. But that's just my opinion of the previous films. So with that, damn, excuse me. So with that said, for me at least, I was like at least optimistic, at least open-minded to see this movie. I wasn't too excited. I wasn't excited really, but I'm like, all right, going in with a bit of a clear mind, and I'm happy I did that because I am probably on the left with everyone on this. This movie is one of the top best of the year. I am probably the type of person who will over exaggerate on my reviews, and I have at times. But I feel 100% with my confidence in saying this is one of the standout films of the year. Essentially the story is, this kid is like essentially forced on this journey, and that he's forced into this journey he has to go on, and he's joined by this monkey and this weird beetle, and for the record, there's a lot of depth and layers to the film when you watch it, and I don't want to give too much away for you because for me this is a magical, unique, vivid, wonderful film experience. I flat out will say I loved this film. I really straight up will tell you that I loved this film. I loved this experience. I love the movie, I love the story, I love the characters, I love so much of this film. And basically the main gist is that, Kubo is essentially forced on this journey, and these two characters, this beetle and this monkey, the monkey is voiced by Charlie Theron, and the beetle voiced by Matthew McConaughey. Alright. Oh gosh. And what I loved about this movie is the way it feels together as a whole. It's like, people are saying it's kind of like Legend of Zelda in a way, and it very much is. There's no doubt about that. There's a fun, cool, open, mystical feeling to it, kind of like reminiscent of Lord of the Rings in a way. In my view, I kind of say this movie of this. It takes the Eastern influences of any Japanese samurai era, mixed in with modern stop motion, with the story of Legend of Zelda and the layers of Lord of the Rings. That's this movie. And god damn does this movie work to its fullest potential. It works to the fullest potential because it knows the depth, the levity, and the control of the story, the depth. There's so much depth to this movie. It really is. It's like first 10 minutes, it's like, wow, it's like reading the Lord of the Rings for the first time. There's so much going on, and yet you can kind of get a grip on it. It's like you won't get too confused and knows how to focus on what at what time. And it's so smart on doing that. Also, for me, what I always personally prefer about movies is the fun, the replayability, and the coolness of it. The replayability is always for me an enormous factor, and this movie has it in spades. I love the animation, I love the characters, and I love the action. The action is, especially for stop motion, I've always felt like stop motion has kind of been held back for what they've done for action. Like, every stop motion thing I see, either Wallace and Gromit, it's a personal childhood favorite of mine, to moderns, kind of like with Pirates, the Pirates 1, or Coraline, or whatever like that. I've always felt like with those type of movies, the action has been kind of reserved. In this movie, it feels unique and vivid, especially how it takes with the Eastern influences on their action views, especially with the weapons. It's very, very good and it's very vivid. And I loved how fun and fluid it just felt. it was just gorgeously rendered, and I love the animation because of that. I was like 6 times. I was literally more than that. I was just like, there's a couple moments where I'm just like, that's gorgeous. I was so at a loss for words of how beautiful it was. Kubo himself is that's right, himself. That's a good point I'll get to later. Kubo himself is, strangely to say, reminded me of Matt Damon in last year's Martian. He's someone who I can both relate to, and yet someone who I strive to be. You understand him at his weakest points when he has moments of doubt. Because he's like a really young kid in this movie. He's like, 10, 11 years old at least? Significantly younger than me, and he's a lot more mature than I was. Kubo himself is more mature than he was at that age when I was at that age. And I tell you, when I was at that age, I was cussing about being a dummy, all that type of stupid shit as a young kid I would be. But Kubo is such a smart, cool character. I loved how he had this kind of a fun, snarky attitude to him, but it didn't feel like he was too much of a lazy ass or anything like that. And what I loved about him, not so that alone, but I loved how much charm and confidence he had, and there was an innate strength. Even though this was a journey that he had no interest in, and he had no option to go in, even though he was completely 100% forced into it, you could still see him adjusting and adapting to it. And you really do see him kind of coming to grips with that journey, and you see him with his moments of doubt or fear, or when he gets upset and he says he misses his mom, and yet you see him at his strongest when when he really takes the lead and he knows how to take the right responsible choices as he does. And it's not perfect. He really isn't perfect as a character. He makes those stupid mistakes. He will complain. Who the hell wouldn't at that age, for the record? And I think his character is very, very identifiable. So for me, he's very much kind of like Matt Damon in last year's Martian. I thought he was such a sympathetic, strong-willed, cool, well-rounded character because of that. The story, again, is just so fascinating. Again, I kind of can't get the grips with it because of I'm sorry, I'm really tired. With the story itself, it feels like there's so much layers to it and how it goes on and prolongs that I just love the way it felt. There's a lot of moments where this movie just breathes, and there's just beautiful, epic scenery and how it shows them just walking along. And I love that type of stuff. Just allow me to breathe in the world. Yes, they may be unnecessary scenes, and it could be cut, and there'll be no difference. But it adds that much more atmosphere and breathability, or makes that the atmosphere or the geographical place that they're in that much more natural and realistic. And I love that. The way they looked was very much reminiscent of an Eastern style, with all the wheat and all the design and a lot of the geology, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's very beautiful. It really is done with such a meticulous, good to great design. I loved it. The way they incorporate Eastern Japanese weapons and designs. At times you kind of see like a Buddha type of statue or ancient ruins type of thing. And every time I see something like that, I love it. I love it. I love seeing those ancient type of ruins thing that you see in movies like King Kong, or either it was in this year's Jungle Book or whatever it is. I just love seeing the ancient ruins, and this movie shows how to, at least shows it in such a good degree that I loved it. And for me, just fucking Kubo, man, fucking motherfucking Kubo is so fucking good. I personally cannot express how much I love this movie. It was such a great experience, and yet I want to go back for more. The ending, without giving much to away, I really did like how it wrapped up everything. It kind of did it gave a bit of a sense of a wrap-up feeling to it, and how I loved how it ended on a certain good note. Again, without spoiling too much. But it still was really good. And yet, if I was like, if they're gonna do a sequel, then I am totally for it. I'm like, yes, please, take my money, take it, please. I would gladly see Kubo 2, without a shadow of a doubt. If it's either it's Kubo and the Lost Souls or whatever the hell it's called, if it is, that'd be very interesting. But my experience with Kubo, my personal watching this movie was really freaking good. One of the best standout films of the year. Also, the voice acting is really good. The kid who voices Kubo, Art Pattinson, who was in like Dracula Untold and Game of Thrones, he's really good. I like his voice. It doesn't feel like too obvious, but he does a great job. You also get to see other great voice, not really voice actors, but great actors putting in the voices in movies like Rooney Mara. I thought she was good. Ralph Fiennes, however you say it, he's really good. But for me, the two standouts of voice actors was Charlie Theron as a monkey. I loved her character. I thought she was like, at least to me, she was that smart, clever, focused, determined, like that. She wasn't like a wise sage, but she's like, get it done, be focused, do what you gotta do type of character. And I loved her commitment, her discipline, and her strength that added to Kubo. But the person who person thought you gave the best vocal performance is Matthew McConaughey as this Beetle. Yes, it's very typical of him to be very cool, laid back. Typical Matthew McConaughey feeling to him, but man, has he worked that character really very, very well. And he adds a cool, fun, lighthearted levity to the film, a lightness, a real essence of, take it easy, have fun with this, just kind of, on this kind, is it, take this as a spiritual journey in a way. A feeling, and I really loved his perspective on it. Is his relaxed style, again in contrast with Charlie Theron's monkey, more focused, more determined approach to it. It's a calm and yet stern approach mixed together, and how it meshes with the character of Kubo himself. And I think Kubo's a great character because of that, and how he bounces off of those two characters of Monkey and Beetle. Now, as much as I love this film, it really is one of my absolute personal favorites right now. They get like top tier, like top 3 or 4 at least for me. I don't know where it will be. Maybe even number 1. I don't know. I'm sorry. You ask, what do I have any weaknesses? Well, I have a few. Number 1, Kubo. Granted, I don't want to do the gender reinforcing anything, like like a tomboy or a girly girl, whatever it is. Like, I don't care. I don't mind that. But if Kubo looks so much like a girl, like the facial structure, the hair, all that looks like a girl, and it's like when someone's talking to him, it's like, do you understand, son, or a line like he or anything? Kubo is dressed as a boy. I'm just kind of pulled out. I'm like, oh crap, right? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is that greatly distracts me whenever I'm watching the movie. Whenever it addresses Kubo as a boy, I'm like, all right, boy. Kubo's a boy. Even though you have long hair like a girl. Granted, like I said before, I'm not trying to gender reinforce anything, and I'm totally against that. But what I'm saying is that he looks so much like a boy that I'm like, again, it just completely distracts me. And I will say, as much as I love the story and so much of it, I do feel like it kind of does overstep its. I wouldn't say it oversteps its length, but it feels like at times it feels like, it's like, okay, we're gonna go to. It's like sometimes, for example, at one point in the movie, they're like, all right, they're at point A here. And it's like, okay, we're gonna get to point C. And again, the movie kind of goes off focus and focuses on something else, and then cuts back to them, and they're already at point C, and it's kind of like, how the hell did they get there? It's like, man, that's distracting. It feels like we need to see essentially more was added to the film, and that really is not just me saying, oh, I want more. I'm saying, like, it feels like there's something cut out, and it kind of does feel at times a bit obvious. Same thing with Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad is on a whole nother level of that, for the record. But in the end, Kubo and the Two Strings is a fucking tour de force of a film, and it's one of my absolute favorites of the year so far. It really is. All they have to say is a must-see masterpiece. They're totally correct. Go see this movie. I loved it. Yes, that Kubo made much like a girl, and it does have a bit of gaps of air of storytelling. But aside from that, Kubo and the Two Strings, fuck me, is great. And check it out. You gotta see it. Highly, highly recommend it. The fact it's not getting not that much movie, not that much money here in North America is tragic, and it really needs, and it really deserves to be seen. And in my mind, it 100% needs to, and that's my my film review, at least my film rating is 92. I'm going to give this movie a 93%. That's my final rating of everyone for this movie, and I really do hope you enjoy my review of this movie. And stick around, everyone, for on Sunday when I'll have my review of the movie Don't Breathe when that comes around. On Sunday, particularly. Until then, everyone, thank you for watching, and I will see you on Sunday for my review of Don't Breathe. Till then, peace.